أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بسيدتنا ومولاتنا فاطمة الزهراء، وجعلنا الله وإياكم من الطالبين بثأرها مع الإمام المنصور المؤيد المهدي من آل محمد. صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله، صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى أمك الزهراء الراضية المرضية المظلومة الشهيدة، سيدي سادتي سيدتي، ما خاب من تمسك بكم وأمن من لجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. As we mourn Sayyida Zahra on a night as tonight, the second narration of the Shahada of As-Siddiqa alayha salam, Fatimah al-Zahra in her final moments cradled the young Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. However, in the land of Karbala, no one cradled Abu Abdullah besides his enemies. That's why the poet says, "Oh Abu Abdullah, it wasn't you who was martyred on the day of Ashura, not only you, but also your grandfather Rasulullah and your father Amir al-Mu'mineen and the Quran and Fatima. أروح كم روح النبوة تصعد من الأرض للفردوس والحور سجد." Was it your soul or the soul of prophethood that went to heaven and all the maidens of Jannah did sujood? أرأسك رأس الرسول على القنا بآية أهل الكهف راح يردد. Was it your head or the head of Rasulullah placed on the spear reciting the ayat of Surah Al-Kahf? أأمك يا أم الكتاب تنهدت فذاب نشيجا قلبها المتنهد. أصدرك أم مستودع العلم والحجاء أبا عبد الله لتحطيمه جيش من الجهل يعمد. وقد نصب الوحي العزاء ببيته عليك حدادا والمعزى محمد. Was it your chest or the chest of Islam that was trampled by the horses of Banu Umayyah? Was it your mother or the mother of the deen that was taken captive? For surely in your martyrdom, Azza was held for you in the highest level of Jannah, as Imam Sahib al-Zaman says in Ziyara al-Nahiya al-Muqaddasa, وأقيمت لك المآتم في أعلى عليين ولطمت عليك الحور العين. مأتم al-Hussein, they say, why do you do latam? It's because latam was held for Imam al-Hussein in the highest levels of Jannah, and the malaika and the maidens all eulogize Abu Abdullah. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. أما بعد يقول الله في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. My respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. There is one key to have all your a'mal accepted. One code that registers everything as approved. No matter how many times you see someone pray, or how many ayat they recite, or the philanthropy that they do and the charity that they give, if they do not include the following variable, none of it is accepted in the eyes of Allah. And that is ikhlas, sincerity, genuinity. In Islam, a mukhlis is the most desired thing as far as any quality that differentiates a Muslim from a mu'min, that Allah wants from you. Al-ikhlas. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي كُلُّهَا لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. That all I do in worship and devotion has to be for you. I cannot include anyone else and accept, Ya Allah, this will be accepted. To be genuine and sincere is to attain the highest levels of ma'rifah billah. Because Allah was sincere with you, so you must be sincere back. It's better, remember this following golden rule, it's better to be wrong but sincere than to be true but false, true but unjust, true but deceptive. For example, you might give the right advice, but you were not sincere in giving it. Many people like to answer questions Islamically. They don't know the answer, but they guessed. Fasting in the holy month of Ramadan. Can the following act invalidate my fast? Many people will rush to give an opinion, but they don't know. If they got the answer right, Allah will still hold them accountable. Why? Allah will say, you just guessed. You had their deen hanging by a thread. You happen to get it right. You have to be sincere. Even if you're wrong, but you're sincere, that's more desirable. Say, I just don't know. I did what I thought was true. I fulfilled what I assumed was the haqq. If I end up being wrong on Yawm al-Qiyamah, I at least was sincere. Allah won't hold me accountable. But if I happen to cheat people, at the same time, I'm hoping that my answers and my purpose is within the acceptance of Allah, I can't accept that to be allowed on the Day of Judgment. It's better to be wrong but sincere than to be truthful but deceptive at the same time. Ikhlas is the same and only and one reason why Shaitan got dispelled from heaven. Because he worshipped Allah. But when Allah came to test his genuine sincerity in his ibadah, he failed. And he didn't give any other reason. Many people jump to understand Shaitan wasn't included in the order of bow down to Adam, O angels, because Shaitan's not an angel. It's interesting, we can make a case for Shaitan here. Allah says to the Malaika, bow down to Adam. Isjudu li Adam. Fasajadu illa Iblis. Iblis was the only one. The case can be made, well, he wasn't an angel, so he didn't. No. The reason why Shaitan responds is the reason why he failed. He says, أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْ خَلَقْتَنِي مِنْ نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتُهُ مِنْ طِينٍ. I'm better. Not because I'm not an angel. If that was the case, Shaitan would have said that clearly. I'm not doing sujood because I'm not an angel. No, I'm just better than him. Which means he was racist. Shaitan was the first racist. That's why racism is satanic, subhanAllah. It's the sunnah of Iblis. Fire is better than mud. Yeah, but Allah is testing you. The qibla is Adam. Do sujood facing him? No. So all these years of ibadah you were doing for me, ya Iblis, was that all genuine? Because the day I test you, you flip. This is a beautiful principle that Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen highlights. عند تقلب الأحوال تظهر مظاهر الرجال. And another version, تظهر حقائق الرجال. That in times of change, the reality of people begins to be seen. If people, you want to know who they are on the inside, Ahlul Bayt give you a few things you can try and test on them. Travel with someone. Try traveling with someone who you assume is always on top of their game. If they get a little bit less sleep, somehow they become this angry monster all of a sudden. I never thought you were like this. Travel with people. قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, as the Holy Quran says. وَاعْلَمُوا كَيْفَ بَدَأَ الْخَلْقِ. Go see how Allah designed and created this world. There's a hikmah in traveling. Hijrah. Travel with people, you get to know who they are, because times change for them. There is a very beautiful hadith. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen always emphasizes that you should conceal some aspects of your life. استر ثلاث مذهبك وذهابك وذهبك. These are not halal or haram. They're just okay things to do, but it's better to conceal them. Conceal in certain circumstances in your life your madhab, your identity and your creed, your sect. Why? Because maybe if you decide to expose your full beliefs right in front of the haram of Rasulullah, perhaps your group in Hajj will be denied Hajj any further, and then you just go back. Maybe it wasn't in your best interest. Or it could be a life and death circumstance where you could be in a position that your identity could lead about any harm. This is where taqiyya becomes expectation. So in times, in places, you have to conceal the madhab. وَذِهَابَكَ. Dhihab means travel. Idhab, tadhabun. You just go travel. You know how people travel, wherever they go, they have to show you where they are. Every time they go somewhere, they have to update you with a picture. And the picture is reflective of so many lies. They show you how happy they are. Maybe just a minute earlier they were fighting. Why did you... And this is like the 50th photo they took, for example. And then many of us come and we're like, Allah, look how happy they are. Well, they were just fighting. And at the same time, it might give the wrong impression. It's not haram. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen says, if you want to avoid hasad, you want to avoid envy, then let the person not see that you're blessed so much. Don't show your health in front of an unhealthy person. Don't show your wealth in front of a homeless person. Don't talk about your big family in front of someone who lost their family. This is all logic and common sense. And in times, there are people that are unhappy that you're being so gifted with travel. One day they're in Bora Bora. Another day they're back here in Florida. Another day they're back in Ziyarah. Allah, everywhere, it's one after the other. Why do they have to? They're rich. They're blessed. They have a great time not knowing this was a fight right before. Istur. Just if you want to avoid problems, conceal. Not everything that is a blessing to you, you have to show. Istur ثلاث مذهبك وذهابك وذهبك. Do I need to begin explaining gold? ذهبك. Gold, your wealth, your financial network, doesn't need to be shown. In any case, sincerity here is what distinguishes an individual's acts from being accepted to being rejected. And it can make and break relationships. Have you seen and ever gotten a Eid WhatsApp message? How fake could those messages be? And you think it's directed to you, but it says on top forwarded way too many times. It says, some of them I've seen them say forwarded so many times, don't even bother reading it. That doesn't exist, but it's like, happy Eid, I've been praying for you. I mean, fake people, this is not fake people, so at least they decided to send it. At least they thought about you, they added you into the list. But certain people who are fake are like fake flowers. They only look good, but if you come and examine, oh, you're plastic. Some people, wallah, they're plastic inside and out. Fake. A fake flower doesn't give good scent, doesn't have a smell. A fake flower doesn't change in time. A fake flower's beauty is contingent on the maker. It's made of plastic. There's no value to it, but there's value in something that you make. I know a teacher, a friend of mine, he's a professor. He says, ever since ChatGPT was created, he said, there's a student of mine, I know this isn't his writing. I've seen his writing. I've seen it. This is not his writing. It's text. He says, I confronted the student and I said, you wrote really well. He says, yeah, I've been practicing on my grammar, I've been practicing on my examples and the citations. Trust me, I didn't cheat. This was my hard work and dedication. I got an English tutor the other week. A whole elaborate story. He's like, yeah. Did the teacher also and the tutor mention that before you write something, you have to write as an AI chatbot? I cannot answer the question, but I can give you a following example. Is that what they told you to include as well? The poor guy forgot to delete the first description of ChatGPT in his text. He got kicked out. Why? You can't make your own effort. There's a beauty in genuinity. Did that go away? Allah sees that in ibadah as well. Just like how if you get fake flowers, or if you get a fake Eid message, or if you get a fake gift, you think to yourself, there's effort that could have been put. Likewise in ibadah. Allah, because of how Rahim He is, will still accept some a'mal. Because genuine ibadah brings about barakat. At the bare bone minimum, Allah will accept the salah that is done in routine. Because at the end of the day, the salah was met. The shurut was checked. But was the barakah there? When you hear ayat like inna salata tanha an al-fahsha'i wal-munkar, and you hear that the salah is supposed to get rid of defilements and evil from shaitan, how come I still see evil and defilements in my life? Bad temptations, bad reflections, bad habits, salah didn't improve me. Well, look at the salah you have. Some people on Yawm al-Qiyamah, they'll have their salah thrown back at them. What was that? That was done so quick, with barely wudu. I don't even know if that was wudu. Your mind was on a million other things, and you want that to be accepted? Allah sometimes will still accept it though. That's how much Allah loves you. You pray a salah genuine, that will change you. That will help you. But how? A prayer that can be prayed genuine is one where you know what you're saying in the salah. How many people have said غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, and if you tell them, what does that mean? Well, I don't know. غَيْر, I don't know. I really don't know. Then how else do you expect it to change you? You see all these effects negatively on your heart. I thought salah was supposed to improve me. As-salatu mi'raj al-mu'min, as the hadith says. It's the mi'raj, uruj. You ascend with it. How come I still feel like I'm on planet Earth? Because learn the words. That's one. Learn what you're saying. Two, don't be distracted. There are many distractions happening. I know what I'm saying, but I'm distracted. Even if you know Arabic, even if you're not distracted, are you even reflecting? Are you even embodying? When I say the words, I can say them routinely, but at the same time, I need to be reflecting on them. I need to have these words purify me. In rak'ah, what does that reflect to me? In the takbirah, when I do this, Allahu Akbar, it's as if I'm confronting you, because you are al-akbar, and everything's behind me. That motion now has meaning. Ruku', it's like I give my neck and head to you, Ya Allah, the most delicate and sensitive parts of my body, the most critical parts. My head is in your disposal, in your hands. In that rak'ah, bowing down. Sujood, from the earth of the turba you made me. I go back up, that's my life. I go back down, I will be buried back in it. It's supposed to reflect. You think all of these reflections, wallah, that salah will change a human being. That will affect a human being properly and good. And it will also affect you in your development with Allah if it's done sincerely. And before all of that, the condition of being among the companions of Sahib al-Zaman is of the following three conditions. من أسره أن يكون من أصحاب القائم. Al-Imam al-Sadiq says, whoever wishes to be among the companions of the awaited Imam, فَلْيَنْتَظِرْ, let them be patient, but actively patient. Patience doesn't mean just sit and be quiet. No, it means to be active and patient. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. There's a'mal and iman, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, and there's also enjoining goodness, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Sabr, in order to be fulfilled, you have to include iman, amal, haqq. In order to avoid what? إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ to not be khasran, be patient. But what does patience mean? All of these other components. فَلْيَنْتَظِرْ, Imam al-Sadiq says, let them be patient, keeping in mind all of these other qualities of patience. وَلْيَعْمَلْ بِالْوَرَعِ. And let them do a'mal with genuinity. الورع, sincerity. وَمَحَاسِنَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. And the most sublime of manners. If you have so much good ibadah, so much good philanthropy, so much good charity, your akhlaq is zbala, that's rejected. Rasulullah says, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِنَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. That's the only reason why I was dispatched. Islam is supposed to make you better. Islam is supposed to improve your akhlaq. What's the point of praying, fasting, and trying to do the salah and ibadah of Rasulullah, but your akhlaq is the akhlaq of Abu Jahl? Who's going to be accepted? Your Islam, if it doesn't improve, Islam is akhlaq. Nothing more, nothing less. What are these ibadat for? What is Ahlul Bayt for? Are they just blood, flesh, and bone? They're a madrasa. It's a school of thought. You enter a school, you come out improved. Islam is to improve me. I can't expect to do all of these, and my akhlaq is zero. I'm abrasive to others. I'm rude. I think of only myself. I'm arrogant. I'm high-horsed. I don't give the seat to those that could really use it. I don't respect my parents, my elders. What's your Islam all about then? If Islam didn't improve you, what, did it make you worse? فَلْيَعْمَلْ بِالْوَرَعِ is in the middle though. فَلْيَنْتَظَرْ يَعْمَلْ بِالْوَرَعِ مَحَاسِنَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. يَعْمَلْ بِالْوَرَعِ means to have your a'mal be done with genuine sincerity. Sincerity, brothers and sisters, and we are in the nights of Fatimiyya, is what distinguishes Lady Zahra alayha salam from everyone else. Everything she did was always sincere. One day, and this is something I can't imagine anyone else doing. And I'm not just saying this because my bias as a lover of Lady Zahra alayhi salam, she's my role model and all of ours. But honestly, you hear the story and you become enchanted. It's her wedding day. It's your day. It's your haqq. It's the day you have to be happy. You know, sometimes when it's your special day, whatever it is, graduation, your birthday, I always see people like to use that as an excuse to get away with things. Hey, it's my birthday. I can eat whatever I want to eat right now. Hey, it's my birthday. I can stay up. It's my birthday. Hey, I can hit you. You can't hit me back. It's my birthday. It's your wedding day. How big of an occasion is that? How many times are you expecting to get married? Maybe once, inshallah. Hopefully the brother's only once. One time. Then, if it's that special to you, no one's going to blame you for enjoying some of the luxuries of life. Let me buy something nice. People will talk about you. Why did you buy that expensive piece of clothing? That very expensive pair of shoes? Or that expensive purse? For yourself? What you always think about yourself? Whatever. If it's your money, it's your haqq, it's your halal, don't let others bother you. Money is better put into other actions and other purposes, but it's fine. But if it's your wedding day, no one's going to talk bad about you. Lady Zahra in Medina al-Munawwara, it's her Yom Zaffa, the Zafaf being taken from her residence to the residence of Amir al-Mu'mineen. She has 2 pairs of clothing, one for her ordinary day-to-day, and her wedding dress she just got from the Messenger of God. She's going to wear her wedding dress. She receives a knock on the door. Now this is the test. The old lady was at the door. As Sayyidah Zahra looks to her, and the lady says, "Peace be upon you, O holy household of karama, of generosity. Give me from what God has given you. I'm in need." Lady Zahra says to her, "Give me one moment." She goes and she sees that she really doesn't have anything worth giving to the lady except her wedding dress. Now, she has her regular pair of clothing, but she has the wedding dress. She considers to give her the regular until she remembers, Allah will bless me more and put barakah in this wedding. That if I decide to donate the thing that I have every right and every excuse on keeping, it's fine. She gives the old lady her wedding dress. A few moments later, Jibreel comes down to Rasulullah. Rasulullah is where? In the masjid, with the community surrounding him, with a young Amir al-Mu'mineen. It's his day as well. dressed in the green as the hadith mentioned, awaiting his wife. Jibreel comes down and says, Rasulullah, quickly. Allah is so happy with what Lady Zahra did. The malaika are shocked at how she just did this, that they gave her a wedding dress from Jannah. Let her take this quickly, go to her now before she comes here. Allah is happy and the malaika are profound. عجبت السماء من فعل فاطمة. Rasulullah goes to her home. She says, oh my father Rasulullah, you came to me. He says, I come with an order that the Almighty Allah is so pleased with what you just did that here's a wedding dress from Jannah. Allah sallallahu لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you're grateful, I will give you more, as Allah says. Rasulullah asks her, but why did you do as such? You had the other dress. It's your day. You could do it. Would anyone blame you? In fact, people will probably blame that you gave your wedding dress. You can't do that. So many people love their cultures. They're like, no, you can't do that. That's the test of genuine. Rasulullah asks her, why did you do that? She says, I wanted to give my ordinary clothing, but I remember the ayah of the Quran. لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You will never attain al-birr, which is complete obedience with Allah. Birr al-walidain, obedience to parents. You will never attain absolute obedience with Allah except if you give from that which you love. And wallahi ya Rasulullah, I love everything and anything you give me, and you gave me that dress. So because I loved it, I gave it away. Rasulullah looks at her and says, by Allah, you are seriously Sayyidatu Nisa al-Alameen. She says, ذَاكَ لِمَرْيَمْ. Well, that's look how Quran is her life. She's bringing an ayah here. She remembers the ayah of that Sayyidah Maryam is what? Sayyidatu Nisa al-Alameen, istafaha Allah. She says, but that's her. He says, Sayyidatu Nisa alamiha. She was the leader of all women, folk of her time period. Amma anti, فأنت سيدة نساء العالمين من الأولين والآخرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Because she was sincere, Allah gave her a wedding dress from heaven. Come to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, he also got something from heaven. Fatimiyya al-Zahra herself. But aside from that, he received an ayah of the Holy Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. This came when Imam Ali gave zakat, sadaqah, in the state of bowing down, ruku'. Hadith says, this is by the way found in Sunni Hadith and Shia, Tafsir Ibn Kathir, Ibn Taymiyyah student, Fakhruddin al-Razi, Mafatih al-Ulum, Mafatih al-Ghayb, and you can obviously look at Tafsir al-Mizan. It is bipartisan, Mahal Ijma', no one denies this. Ali gave his ring in the state of ruku' when the poor man entered, and he was like, who can help me? I'm struggling. Imam Ali sees him. When you're praying, by the way, is everything cancelled and you're just focusing on the floor? No, you hear. Allah doesn't close your ears. Allah doesn't close the side of your eyes. You see everything. You hear everything. Imam Ali sees and hears without being distracted, because someone walks in, you're going to eventually see them. He says, someone help me. Imam Ali has a ring. Ashar. He begins to point like this. The man could only understand this as, come and take it. The Wahhabi Mufti, I remember in Kuwait, he's alive today. He says, this is not a fadila from the fada'il, the great virtues. Why? Ali should have been focusing on his salah. Habibi, don't worry about Imam Ali's salah. Worry about your salah. Worry about your prayer before you talk about the one who died in salah, died in sajda, died in mihrab, died in masjid, died in the day salah, Islam was revealed later. Worry about your salah. Worry about your salah. You should have been focused. What's the response though, besides me getting angry? It's, what is doing sadaqah? It's ibadah. What is salah? Ibadah. Yani Imam Ali figured out a way to do ibadah and give ibadah at the same exact time. This ayah was revealed for him. When this ayah was revealed, the hadith mentions, we said this is found, Mahal Ijma', all schools of thought narrate this, that as-Sahaba, all of the companions, let's say a majority of them, started trying to donate their ring during Salah so that hoping an ayah of the Quran could be revealed for them as well. Many of the companions were like, that's Ali does that. He gets an ayah. إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا فَإِنَّ حِزْبَ اللَّهِ هُمُ الْغَالِبُونَ. I want an ayah. Yeah, what did he do? He gave the sadaqah. Okay, I'm going to pray right in front of the homeless shelter. Hold on. But how come an ayah didn't come out for me? So what were you doing it for? Genuinity? Sincerity? Or were you looking for gain and prize? Imam Ali, the difference between you and him is that he was sincere. And Allah revealed an ayah for him. Ayat of the Holy Quran. If you're sincere, wallah, Allah will open doors for you. Shaitan comes to Nabi Musa and says to him, you think Allah can forgive me? Musa's Kalimullah. Assalamu alayka ya Kalimullah, ya Musa ibn Imran. Assalamu alayka ya waratha Musa Kalimullah. These descriptions, he talks to Allah. He talks to Allah. Shaitan comes to him. He says, Musa, do you think Allah can forgive me? He says, let's ask Allah. Allahumma, Ya Rabbil Alameen. You are the Rahman, you're the Ghafoor, the Ghafir, Tawwab. Does this also apply to Iblis? Do you know what the response was? That Shaitan disobeyed me. His biggest act of disobedience was he refused to bow down to Adam. And he hasn't said, I'm sorry. He hasn't atoned for his sin. So in order for him to be atoned, let him say, Astaghfirullah. That's it. Let him say, Ya Allah, forgive me. In the school of Ahlul Bayt, if we want to expedite and remove a sin, what do? We genuinely say, Astaghfirullah. But what? Genuinely. Shaitan, you know what he says? He says, rather tell Allah he should say sorry to me. How dare he tell me to bow down to that which was made from mud and I am made from fire. His hiqd, his arrogance never went away. Years later, Isa alayhi salam is around. Shaitan thought, you know what, maybe this was too much what I did earlier. Let me come and say to him, Ya Ruh Allah, Ya Isa ibn Maryam, Ya Rasulullah. He's a Rasul min Allah. There are Rasul, there are Anbiya. He's a Rasul. Do you think God can forgive me? He's giving yet another shot. Isa says, let's ask Allah. Ya Rabbil Alameen. You see, even after his arrogance, his takabbur earlier, let him ask me for forgiveness. The response came back, you know what? We can forgive him. It's not impossible. Look how the rahmah of Allah is so big. Look how big. That even Shaitan is getting an opportunity. Shaitan says, what can I do? He says, what was the main sin you did? The big first one? He's like, I'll tell you. I refused to bow down to Adam. So, okay. In order to fix the sin, to right what you wronged, go to the grave of Adam and do what? Bow down. You know what Shaitan said? He said, I never bowed down to him when he was alive. You want me to bow down to him when he's dead? Forget the forgiveness. I don't want any of that. Takabbur. Mutakabbir. He finds himself so big. Yet he keeps asking. There's a narration that says from how much forgiveness Allah will do on Yawm al-Qiyamah. That even Shaitan will have a spark of hope that maybe Allah will forgive me. Allah's rahmah, famous hadith by Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Is divided into 100 parts. Allah's what? Rahmah. 1 out of 100 is given for this dunya. Look at the rahmah you find. Yes, the world is in shambles right now. But there is many examples of mercy. There are many. 1 out of 100 is saved for this dunya. The rest of the 99 are reserved for Yawm al-Qiyamah. From how much Allah will be forgiving people. So much ghufran, so many opportunities of forgiveness that 99 portions out of the 100 of forgiveness and rahmah for Allah is only for Yawm al-Qiyamah. Now don't think Allah is going to destroy you. Allah hates you, I sinned. Al-ya's min rahmatillah, al-ya's min rawhillah, having despair. That's why Iblis is called Iblis. Ablasa min rahmatillah. Ablas, Iblis. Iblas means what? To have despair. To think, what is despair? It's one of the biggest sins. To think that Allah can't forgive me. Why is that a big sin? It's to suggest what? That this is too much for him. You can't even forgive me, ya ammi. Wallah, if Allah is saying there are chances, Iblis, he just has to do something. We're not like, this isn't pejorative or lower jabs to other religions. For example, the Catholic Church, where you need to go to a priest in the area of forgiveness and say, Father, forgive me for I have sinned, give him $5 tithing, and you explain your sin, and that's perfectly acceptable. It's not like that. We just go straight to the source. But بِشَرْطِهَا وَشُرُوطِهَا, with its conditions. If you hurt someone, can you come and turn around and say, forgive me? La, where's the sincerity? Where's the genuinity? You have to ask him for forgiveness first. The hadith mentions if a mom does not forgive, the mothers will love this. If a mom does not forgive her children for genuine oppression towards her, Allah will not forgive them. If a parent is oppressed, so we're not saying she asked you, come clean your room, and you didn't and she got mad. But that also is something you shouldn't do. You have to follow what your parents say. However, if you oppress dhulm and they don't forgive you, you're in big trouble. They have to forgive you. Now, if there's a sense of being unreasonable, unrealistic, Allah knows what's going on in reality. One day, a mother came to Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Says to him, Ya Rasulullah, my son abuses me. A'udhu billah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. My son abuses me. Your own son? He's like, yeah. But I've decided never to forgive him. Rasulullah says, are you sure about that? She says, I can't. He pushes me around. He says, that's unfortunate. We can talk to him. She says, try. He says, okay. You said you're not going to forgive him. She said, yeah. He said, you know what that means? Qiyamah, he's going straight to? She says, yeah, that's what I want. She says, okay, bring your son. She brings her son. Probably this cocky guy walking in. He says, what am I here for? Rasulullah says, according to this tradition, Ya Ali, tie his hands. Oh Ali, throw him in this big, large pit of fire we just did. The mom is the one who steps in. It's like, wait, why? He says, oh, we're giving him the punishment of this life first, before he gets the punishment of the next life. She said, no. I didn't want that. I just wanted you to tell him I won't forgive him. Yawm al-Qiyamah is going to be bad. He said, wait. This fire is cold compared to that fire. And you're saying no to this? She said, no, forgive it. He said, no, forget it. He says, then forgive him. She said, I forgive him. I don't want to see my son burnt in this way. He said, it's that serious. That if you can't, look how soft the mother's heart is though. That even though she's angry, even though she's mad, she's hurt, she says, I can't see him burn in this life. What about the afterlife? Let me forgive him. But that is important. Genuine forgiveness. Imam Ali says, لِلْتَوْبَةِ مَرَاحِلْ. For tawbah and forgiveness are levels. The first level is النَّدِمُ عَمَّا فَاتِكَ. Have nadim. Are you regretful, remorseful, or no? I just did something so haram. Forgive me. Allah's like, it's not a game. It's not an exchange account. I give you this, you give me that. What is this? I'm going to sin. Once I say astaghfirullah, you're going to forgive me? Yeah, no. You can't fool Allah. Allah knows what's genuinely in your heart. Nadimu amma fatik. Have regret and remorse over what you want to do istighfar. Have that first. Genuine for imagine someone breaks a valuable piece of adornment in your house, say a chandelier. And then they come and say, I'm sorry. The next day they break a vase. I'm sorry. The third day they break the chairs. You're not sorry, because if you were, sorry is represented in actions. And nadimu amma fatik. The same goes with Allah. Some people give Allah little credit. Allah knows what's going on. The second, al-azm ala adam al-awd. To have azm, meaning determination, not to ever go back again. You're sorry, sure, I see the remorse, but you don't close off with that person that keeps supplying you the haram. You don't turn away from the channels that keep providing you haram. You have to close the path back to it. Yeah, I know you're remorseful, but you can't continue to open the door for those people to continue being bad influences on you. Cancel the pathway. Regretful, I see it. You're crying. However, cancel that person in your life. Otherwise, you're going to keep going back. What's the point? I fixed the doctor. Can't just heal you and see you were genuinely interested in health. But keep seeing you going back to taking those horrible substances. He's like, stop going to that. Same way spiritually, stop going. الندم عما فاتك العزم على عدم العود. And then Imam Amir al-Mu'minin says, إرجاع حقوق الناس. If your haram was contingent on hurting someone, before you say astaghfirullah, say I'm sorry to that person. You're regretful. You're determined not to do that again. You have to now do what? If it involves someone's haqq, return it. I stole from you. I won't do it again. I will always be regretful, but I'm going to keep the 5,000 I robbed you of. No, return it. The last thing, إرجاع حقوق الله. See, Allah prioritizes the haqq of the people before His own haqq. Haqqul insan awla is more prioritized, the rights of others, than haqqullah. Yeah, it's a big one. Because you can always pray and fast another day. But this person's haqq and right is more of a priority. Then, at the end, if you give him back the rights of others, if you owe Allah something, give it back to Allah then. Forgive me, yeah, but at least give me what I want if you want something from me back to you. This is all at the end. If it's meant, you can say, Astaghfirullah. Allah is not a joke. Rabbul Alameen can't be played around with. I'm going to sin. Yalla astaghfirullah. That's how people fall into this regression effect. And we want to improve with genuinity and sincerity. There is a hadith Qudsi, brothers and sisters. Hadith Qudsi is extra Quranic statements. They're not the Quran, but they are, for example, if the Prophet of God said, قال الله, Hadith al-Kisa, قال الله عز وجل ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية. This is a Hadith Qudsi, meaning God said something, but it's not in the Quran. It is narrated by Musa alayhi salam, to which he says, قال الله عز وجل الإخلاص سر من أسراري استودعته قلب من أحببت من عبادي. That sincerity is a secret from my godly secrets. I give it to the heart of one of my servants or any of the servants that I love. If you're a genuine person and you're not fake, that means God loves you. Because it's hard to find real people today. It's hard to find sincere people today. It's hard to find the genuinity like Lady Zahra, who when she shines a silver coin before giving it to sadaqah, Imam al-Hassan says, why are you shining money? She says, نويت أن أتصدق بها لله. And I see it black. So I wanted to polish it. He says, but it's sadaqah. It's not going to lessen in value, increase in value if it's dirty. She says, but I heard from Rasulullah say, as-sadaqat taqa fi yadillah. That sadaqah doesn't go to the hand of the poor person. No. It goes to the hand of Allah. One day, every month, Rasulullah would slaughter a cow. Every month, he would order that this happens, and the cow's meat will be distributed to the fuqara. One day of these months, the cow was slaughtered. All of it was eaten, except the shoulder. All of it was gone to sadaqah, except the shoulder. One of the wives of Rasulullah narrates, Ya Rasulullah, أُكِلَتْ كُلُّهَا وَبَقِيَ كَتَفُهَا. Oh Rasulullah, all of it was eaten, but the shoulder stayed. Rasulullah replies back with a powerful reply. He says, بَلْ بَقِيَ كُلُّهَا وَذَهَبَ كَتَفُهَا. What does she say? All of it has gone, has been eaten, except the shoulder. What does Rasulullah say? He says, rather all of it stayed, except the shoulder. When I give something, it stays for me and I and you and I, and it remains for us in our record with Allah. It's sad that the shoulder didn't get eaten. That's the thing that went away. It wasn't counted. Look at the vision Rasulullah has when it comes to giving away, when it comes to donating. You think you lose something when you give something away. Rather, Rasulullah says, بَلْ بَقِيَ كُلُّهَا وَذَهَبَ كَتَفُهَا. Like, لِلْأَسَفْ. Sadly, the shoulder wasn't eaten. Some people look at it the opposite. Sometimes, I don't know if they're going to do it here. Ahsan, they pass around the basket, right? And some people find it so heavy. Ya Allah, I don't want to lose this. And they donate and they give. In the vision of Islam, you didn't lose what you gave. You kept that in your mizan of hasanat. In this situation, what was lost is what stayed behind. That's the vision of Islam. It is inverse donating. Because when you donate, you think you lost something. But when in reality, Islamically, spiritually, that which you gave stays for you and will do what? Shafa'ah for you on Yawm al-Qiyamah. That Allah will say, they did sadaqah. They gave fi sabilillah. Just like the archetype that was their role model and Hujjat Allah, Sayyidah Zahra alayhi salam. Everything she does was sincere, genuine, and they would always avoid, brothers and sisters, any sad opportunity that someone who was a recipient of their karam and karama felt like they were taken advantage of. You've seen YouTubers, when the social experiments, when they go to someone that's poor, and they're like, I gave a homeless man $5,000. Yeah, you helped the guy, but you also humiliated him. Because what if eventually the man or the lady gets out of that poverty state? And there's a record of them begging and being in that humble position. It's like, alhamdulillah, there was a camera behind you. Otherwise, if there was no camera, you wouldn't have donated, yani. Yeah, humiliate the person. That's not good. That's not nice. Imam Al-Hassan alayhi salam, whenever he would donate, he would give, when the door opens, he would stick his hand out and hold the bag, and they wouldn't see the face, they would just see his hand. Why? There's a hikmah. One reason is he doesn't want the homeless to know who gave them the money, so that they don't think someone out there knows I'm poor and I'm begging. Lessons from their dignity, preserves their dignity. Number two, so Imam Hassan alayhi salam can't say, I know who's poor, I know who's not. He's the Imam, but he's teaching us. There's no need to know about people's financial situations. I'll tell you a personal story. We used to live in Colorado, how many years ago? Maybe 10 years ago. And there was a friend of mine at school. His English was very poor. And I remember part of my example, I went to take out the trash. And so I remember we lived far from where I needed to throw the trash away in the bin. So I would walk, maybe like 2 minutes. That's our circumstance back then. I would walk and then go. When I went there, it was the large container. I remember when I arrived, I found my friend from school and his mom digging through the trash. I threw the thing in and I see him. He's like, oh, hi, Mohammed. So, hi, I don't know. He says, please, don't tell anyone at school. So I don't worry. He said, please, I feel ashamed that I'm digging through trash. I was thinking, he's going to be digging through my trash bag in a minute. They say that one man's trash is another man's treasure. But in this state, it really broke my heart. And that's my friend from school. I didn't know he was struggling that much. That he's going to be digging through, in a moment, what bag I had. And with his mom, too. Sometimes you see these people, when they donate, they want to make sure a camera's on them. They don't give. They don't provide, except I want others to know, look how good I am. Okay. There's a hadith Qudsi that says, إِذَا أَشْرَكَ عَبْدِي أَحَدًا مَعًا تَرَكْتُهُ لِشَرِيكَ. If any of my servants, Allah says in this hadith, if any of my servants involve anyone else in the act of worship they're doing, I will leave the reward of that act for the person they involved, not with me. تَرَكْتُهُ لِشَرِيكَ. The thawab of sadaqah, you wanted to get ajr from me when you intended on others to see, look how nice they are. Look how philanthropic, charitable they are. Okay, I'll leave the ajr with them, not from me. Enjoy. You have to give 100% of your intention lillah. And that is how you become Someone that takes Allah as your wakil. Wakil means leaving 100% of your trust in Allah's hand. Not 99. When you say tawakkal ala Allah, fa'ala Allah, فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ, 100% of tawakkul. What does that mean? Say tawakkal ala Allah. No. It means that 100% yaqeen. I want you to sleep so comfortable, knowing it's in Allah's hands. Khalas, let me sleep. Tomorrow is a big critical day. Ya Allah, what do I do? Did I forget that I said it's in Allah's hands? Khalas, relax. Allah, who's taken care of you for so long, brought you up to this point, is going to forget you tomorrow? La. It's in Allah's hands, yani leave it in His hands. A wakil means what? Ambassador. A wakil is someone that you say, they represent me. Wakil is saying, I can't attend this very important meeting that's going to affect our company, but I'm going to send my wakil. He or she represents everything we stand for. And I can sleep knowing they're going to represent me perfectly. If you can have that vision with Allah, it's good, bro. It's in Allah's hands, you got it. If you say, you know what, my health, my wealth, it's not looking good. But if I say it's really in Allah, genuinely, it's going to be taken care of. Alhamdulillah. Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. And you're satisfied with the qada of Allah. You can complain, but never complain and decide to question Rabbul Alameen's choice on you and interpret Allah as punishing. La. Allah puts us through trials, and if anyone could have complained, it would have been the likes of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, Sayyida Zahra as well. For indeed, after the events of the attack on the house of Lady Zahra, alayha salam, she survives for a few more days, not long. Al-Imam al-Sadiq says, فَمَكَثَتْ قَلِيلًا. Not long after that hujum happened on her house. Alayha salam, eventually, Lady Zahra met her Lord. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, the world's problems caved in on his shoulders. The Imam's backbone was the Prophet, like how he was the backbone to the Prophet. But after Rasulullah, it was like Sayyida Zahra alayhi salam. When she left him, La Rasulullah, La Lady Zahra, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen now had full control and full responsibility. The Imam's most difficult moment wasn't the attack on the house of Sayyida Zahra and him. It wasn't even when Imam Ali was forcefully taken in ropes tied to the masjid to be forced to give bay'ah, because they tied his hands. Imam Ali, after the event, they tied his hands. Lady Zahra was down on the floor, salamullah ta'ala alayha, and they dragged the Imam to go. Yes, Imam Ali is strong. Brothers and sisters, who doubted that? But the Imam sees that all of these men, I can fight all of them, but they can also fight everyone else inside and around us. Enough. And Rasulullah gave him a will that if the going gets tough, Ya Ali, if you have 500 supporters, rise. But today Imam Ali doesn't even have 7. Among them Salman, Miqdad, Talha, Zubair, Sulaim, among a few others. But that's it. Not even more than 10. I can't rise. And I have to follow and obey what Rasulullah says. No bloodbath in Medina. I will go. As Imam Ali alayhi salam is going, Lady Zahra trails him. And after all that, after the heat, after the pain, she stands up. She says to As-Sayyida Fidda, help me stand. And she stands. It's a moment that requires true appreciation. That if you're hurt, how selfless is Sayyida Zahra? On her wedding, she gives away her dress. On this day, she's hurt. She's bleeding. And she's also in so much pain, she says, my Imam needs me. She gets up. She trails the Imam and she carries her own being step by step. She takes Hassan and Hussein and they go to the masjid. They get to the masjid and they see Lady Zahra is about to invoke the la'na of Allah on the whole of society. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen says, "O Salman, if you see Sayyidah Zahra doing as such, tell her stop, because she will destroy everything that's here." Salman goes to Sayyidah Zahra and he says to her, "O the daughter of Rasulullah, إن أباك بعث رحمة للعالمين فلا تكوني نقمة عليها." Oh, the daughter of the Messenger of God, your dad was sent as a mercy to the world. Don't be as a massive trial and calamity to it. She says, "Oh Salman, you don't know what they have just done to me. And you don't know how they have mistreated me. Oh Salman, is it normal that I see my husband being carried in shackles as such? Oh Salman, if it wasn't for the will of Rasulullah, wallah, I would invoke the la'na. This entire town will flip on itself." And those few days passed and passed. Lady Zahra alayhi salam, every day that would pass, she would grow weaker, salamullahi alayha. In her young age, she began to spend as much time as she could just reading and reminding herself of the Lord and the Quran, making dua, giving her final will, until she and Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen are together. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam begins to be told the wasiyah of Lady Zahra. She says to him, "Ya Ali, I ask you for a couple of things. The first of my will and desire is that if I've ever been a burden to you, to forgive me of my shortcomings." Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen instantly replies and says, "By Allah, Ya Fatima, I have never seen you unless all of my troubles went away and faded away. You have been the biggest blessing of my life after your Holy Father. Oh Ali, I ask you then to get married to our relative Umama, so that the children have someone to watch after them. Ya Ali, I ask you to bury me next to Rasulullah. This life was pointless after him, and this life has no meaning if I'm not near him." She says to him, "Ya Ali, make sure those who brought hatred and pain upon us do not attend my funeral. Ya Ali, my last of these desires, watch out for Hassan and Hussein, watch out for Zainab and Kulthum." Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen goes to wash the body of Lady Zahra. When Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen is there with a Sayyidah Fidda, she begins to narrate the next, saying, "I saw my master Ali ibn Abi Talib. As he is pouring the water over his beloved wife, he begins to stop. And then he goes and sits by the corner. Imam Ali sits on the corner and he begins to hug his own knees, puts his head between his legs and begins to cry. She says, "Ya Ali, you were the one who no one could fight. You were the one who no one could best. Why do you cry as such? Al-mawtu lakum aada. وَكَرَامَتُكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ الشَّهَادَةِ." He says, "Ya Fidda, don't worry and don't ask me, don't blame me. As I was washing her body, my hand went over one of her ribs, and I noticed it was broken, but I didn't know when this happened." She kept it quiet and silent. She didn't want to tell me, not to bother me. "Oh Fidda, don't blame me, for I am hurt." Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen then goes to the grave of Rasulullah. As he goes to Rasulullah's haram, he begins to speak to Rasulullah. He says, "Ya Rasulullah, you gave me an amana, and I returned the trust back to you. But in what state does she return back to you? Disheveled, bruised, and hurt. Oh Rasulullah, if you want to know what happened, just ask her." Then Imam Ali hadith mentions he fell asleep, and in his dream next to the qabr of Rasulullah, he saw Fatimiyya al-Zahra. She said to him, "Ya Ali, I need you to not mourn, and you must return back to the home. my young Zainab has just woken up and she's looking for me. Ya Ali, go back to the home. Zainab is asking, where's my mother? Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, if Zahra is asking about Zainab after the shahada of her mother, then what would you have seen of Zainab in Karbala, watching over her brother Abi Abdullah al-Hussein? I leave you with this last line. As Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen is going to bury Fatima al-Zahra, in the narrations of Madinat al-Ma'ajib of Sayyid Hashim al-Bahrani, he says that all of the family, the close family, got together one last time before they buried Lady Zahra. Imam Ali says to them, say goodbye to your mother Fatima. Next to him was Zainab, Hassan and Hussein. Right before they lay Sayyidah Zahra to her grave, a young Hassan throws himself over the feet of his mother, calling out, Umma kallimini, ana waladuk al-Hassan. Mother, speak with me. I'm your boy al-Hassan. And then a young Imam Hussein throws himself on the chest of his mother, calling out, Umma kallimini, ana waladuk al-Husayn. Umma kallimini, ana habibuk al-Husayn. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, the hadith says, Jibreel, the angel, comes to him. He says to him, Ya Ali, move Hussein from the chest of his mother, for the angels cannot handle seeing Hussein on the chest of his mother this way. I say to them, O angels of Allah, if you couldn't handle seeing Hussein on the chest of his mother, how did you handle seeing Shimr on the chest of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein in Karbala? If you couldn't handle seeing Fatima with Hussein, how did you handle seeing Hussein laid on the ground with no one near him? Inna lillah وإنا إليه راجعون وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. فرج عنا يا الله، اللهم بفاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها فرج عنا. اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم. 10 times all together, ya brothers and sisters of ours. Ya Allah, Ya Allahu, Ya Allahu, Ya Allah, Ya Allahu, Ya Allahu, Ya Allahu, Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahim. Allahumma bi Fatimata wa abiha wa ba'liha wa baniha farrij anna ya Allah. Allahumma shafi mardana, Allahumma qdi hawaijana, Allahumma man arada lil Islam su'an farudda kaydahum ila nahrihi. Oh Allah, we ask you on behalf of Lady Zahra to heal all those who are sick. Oh Allah, we ask you to bring about victory and success to the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen and Fatima in this world. Oh Allah, we ask you to bring about your chastisement and punishment on the Sahayina, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we ask you to remove all those who are oppressors on this earth, those that see it easy to spill blood of the innocent. Bihaqq al-Zahra, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we ask you on behalf of the ulama and the shuhada that have left us from Junubi Lubnan and Palestine and wherever there are madlumeen. Allahumma bihaqqihim, Ya Allah, farrij anna. Allahumma ajjal li waliyika al-faraj. Allahumma ila al-arwah al-ulama'i wa shuhada, siyama man awsana bid-du'a. Rahimallah man qara surat al-mubarakat al-Fatiha, but before it the loudest of your salawat.